Hallo Joel.
Hallo Mike.
Hello.
Hallo Michael.
Hello, everybody.
Hallo Alina.
Hey Michael.
Hallo.
And Karsten.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? Oh, you're in your band, Mike.
Yes, we're in Austria,
Ah,
in the Tyrol.
Tirol.
Hey.
So, welcome everybody. It's 5:30 and I hope you agree that we record this meeting because there are some who don't have time today, so they will watch the recording. Hallo euch allen auf Deutsch auch und ich hoffe, ihr seid alle dafür, dass wir das aufzeichnen. Ich werde das nicht ins Internet stellen, sondern nur denen zur Verfügung stellen, die heute keine Zeit haben. Okay? Gut, das war der Anfang. Ich würde sagen, wir machen mal eine kurze Vorstellungsrunde. Es werden noch ein paar dazukommen. Zumindest haben sie gesagt, dass sie kommen werden. Wir haben ja insgesamt 11. Eine Teilnehmerin hat umgebucht jetzt von Portugal auf Online-Kurs und will die praktischen Kurse so dazu machen. Das heißt, 10 potenzielle Interessenten, sagen wir es einmal so. Bei manchen ist das schon sicherer und bei manchen noch nicht so sicher, dass wir da in Portugal, dass sie in Portugal diesen Step-Kurs Certified dazu machen. So, eine Frage mal an die Caroline. Alina, weiß ich, dass du Englisch kannst? Caroline? Und Akos, you speak English, yeah?
Yes, yes. English
Okay.
would be better. I don't know so good German.
So, are you okay when we speak English here? And whenever you have a question or don't understand anything, then just ask and we will translate it to German. Is this okay for you?
Yes.
Ja. Alena, du nickst auch?
Ja, ist okay.
Okay.
Totally. It's fine.
Gut, zu mir mal, ich fange an. Mein Name ist Herbert Gruber, bin Obmann des gemeinnützigen Vereins ASBN, Österreichisches Stoppballennetzwerk. Und also I wanted to
Wolltest du in Englisch machen, ne?
So my name is Herbert Gruber. I'm chairman of the Austrian Association, Austrian Strawbell Network, and I'm also one of the presidents of ESPA, of the European Strawbell Association. And we started in 2008 something. We started with a Leonardo program, the European program, the STEP course. This is a European agreed EDGEWET based course. EDGEWET means there are points and you have sort of a quality management agreement, a memorandum of understanding between now 11 countries, which offer parts of this course or some different modules of this course. All in all, there are 8 modules for this course. It's about mainly strawbell building, but it's very much about construction technique, as especially timber or wood post and beam constructions depend very much on the infill material, in this case, the straw bale. So we take care about the straw bale when we make a construction and not just fill in any kind of construction. We have this main 3 parts of where we have practical workshops. This is infill, so any kind of new building where we build with straw bales. Then we have the load bearing technique, also die lasttragende Bauweise, also called Nebraska style, where you have the base laid flat, 50 centimeter walls, and no construction except the posts which are beside windows or doors. And naturally, the base plate, the top plate, and the roof are conventional timber constructions. Can be infill construction as a roof filled with straw base. And the third part is wrapping, so everything which has to do with renovation. This was also a part which was interesting us in Portugal, as there are a lot of people who buy these old ruins and then want to build something there. And we wanted to show how this is possible in a quite ecologically sustainable or straw bale way. So this is what we started in 2008. In 2017, we made the first full course here. Courses consisting of this theory, 400 hours. From these 400 hours is about 300 hours is theory, and about 100 hours is something like that is practice. Now, the theory and practice is always mixed, and I know this is a little bit confusing when we talk about theory or when we talk about practice. Where it is really separated is when you do an online course, for example, or a Zoom call. We have also these 5-day Zoom workshops. Then practice is clearly separated from the theory. Then we just do the theory online, or you do it by yourself. And what we do in Portugal is making a mix of practice and theory, because we know that when you have the possibility to touch something or to see something, then you understand it much better in this context. This is why practice and theory are mixed. Also, I have to say that if you want to build a house, whether as a professional or as a participant somewhere or your own house, then we really recommend that you do the practice on building sites. So on really where you see a house, a complete house, because there are a lot of details which we cannot show in a practical course in a training center. So there are additions to this certified course. Hello, Bert. There are additions to this theory part with practice. So you will learn all about stuffing straw and infilling straw and those things. But this is it's not everything. So if you really are interested in, for example, a renovation or in a wrapping with straw or straw bales, or in plastering, you will learn how to plaster in the training center. But it's good one time to see a real building site where you maybe also plaster, for example, a ceiling or something like that, or a more difficult thing under this pressure of time on a building site. So you are similar like a worker on a building site. So this is what we started 2008, and there's an agreement. This is accepted. So what means certified? Certified is this European certification according to EDGET. This means that there is that there are two parts of assessments at the end, final assessments, also Prüfungen. The one is for theory, and you get a certificate for theory. If you just do the theory, it's absolutely okay. For example, an architect, if you're a designer, planner, if you work in logistics, something like that, then maybe the theory is enough for you. Or you are interested in the next years or in this year to enlarge your knowledge or skills and do some practical courses in some of the countries where we offer that. The problem in the beginning was with Portugal that there was a lot of interest. Some people wanted to build something, and we said we integrate this in the Portugal course, but the permission procedure in Portugal is a quite long procedure, and it's about 2 to 3 years. So all those who said we want to build, they might get the official permission in 2 or 3 years. And those who just build, this is a bit critical. You can do this by your own, but we cannot do this officially. Yeah, we cannot make a workshop and build something somewhere in the wilderness, and it's not, there is no permission for that. So it has sometimes a reason why it's not allowed to build, or why permission has to be granted. In these countries, fire hazard is a big topic, for example, and also about water and a lot of other stuff. So we offer mainly, since 2010, we offer practical courses, from introductory courses to 5-day courses on building sites. We have with ECDECO this learning platform which we established 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago in a European project together with 4 partners, or there are more partners in this project, but 4 language partners. So we have also a lot of courses now in French, in Czech, in Slovak, in German, in English, and what else? Some are also in Spanish. So this is about me. I am from my profession graphic designer and consultant, business consultant, and I changed my profession 23 years ago with building my own house, and the conversion of the straw bale of the barn into a straw bale house, where now in Ravensbach we have the training center in Austria. And yeah, we do a lot of courses, and I'm now, I would say, more and more a specialist in building and building construction and building physics and all those stuff. And one of the benefits, I think, which my knowledge could help you as well, is that I, as well as any other who builds, made a lot of mistakes. We analyzed these mistakes. We had the chance in this Leonardo project to visit a lot of straw bale houses. And in each of these straw bale houses, you could see at least one mistake. And there were building physicians and structural engineers with us in this big group. We were about 26 people, and we analyzed always why this happened. So now I can say what we build is based on this experience. We can, or we try at least, to prevent the biggest mistakes on building sites. The smaller mistakes will happen, but it should never be a moisture problem in the wall, or it should not be a structural problem. These are the biggest problems we are facing in straw bale building. In any kind of building, organic building, you will have these challenges to keep your building moisture free and so dry, and the structure should be okay and not over dimensioned, as this is usually the case when you build with a carpenter, especially, or when you have a structural engineer and ask him about your construction, then you have everywhere double the amount of wood. And in countries like Portugal or in Greece or in other Mediterranean countries, it's critical to use so much wood because this is a high price. It has to be imported. There is not much of wood there. There's a difference if you build in Austria or Germany or in other countries. And naturally, it's a price, a budget thing. So we are proud that we still can offer buildings in Austria with Austrian workers for about 2,500 euro per square meter living space, all in all, including the foundation and planning and logistics and all these things. So this is about me, and I gave the word to our co-trainers. One is Mike Deveria, and please, Mike.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Mike Deveria. I'm originally from Scotland. I've lived half my life in Holland because my wife is Dutch. My background is I spent 13 years in the British Navy and 18 years in the oil industry, and I ended my career as a quality manager supporting the oil industry. I got involved in natural house building through my son, who is a sustainability kind of researcher, and through an organization called Ecosystem Restoration Camps. This is an organization which has 45 camps around the world, and where it was clear to me they needed infrastructure. So I'm part of the Ecosystem Restoration Constructor Camps organization. So I put myself through a natural house building course, an earthship course, and I went to ESBG 2019, which is the European Straw Bale Gathering, which was in near Manchester in 2019. And that's where I had this wonderful lecture from a Herbert about the step course. And I thought, yeah, 6 months of learning how to build the straw bales, that's for me. So along with Karsten and 12 other lovely people, we started the step course in 2020 at the end of March, just as COVID was hitting the world. And Herbert and his team very quickly converted the course from being local in Ravelsbach to being online. And that was very successful. And we met each other online, and we did the whole of virtually all the theory course online. And we got together on the 1st of July 2020 in Ravelsbach, and we started doing more practical work. And we eventually finished the course in September 2020, and we all passed our exams, as everybody does, and we are now certified straw bale builders. But it became clear to me that you can only build in Austria during the summer months because of the weather. You can't do much in Austria in the winter. And I had already spent a couple of weeks that year, 2020, working in Portugal in February. So I knew that the weather in February was about 20 degrees, and I suggested, why don't we run a second course down in Portugal? So, cutting a long story short, that was in 2020, now in 2023, we're going to run the first theory course in the Algarve, where it's going to be absolutely wonderful. We've met some lovely people down there, we've got great accommodation, and we've got a great plan for the course. That will just be the theory course, unless we can find some customer who wants the house actually built there. Otherwise, I think the practical courses are going to be in Austria or wherever. I'm 71, I'm retired. I spend a lot of time traveling. I'm now in my camper with my wife in Pasentheim in Austria. And we're heading through Slovenia up to Fulham, where we'll be building a straw bale house north of Wena. That's all the important stuff you need to know. I'm learning German. Anybody has the patience to help me speak some ein bisschen Deutsch. I'm also learning Portuguese because we're going to be in Portugal, and I speak Dutch because I live in Holland. So that's me, and I look forward to meeting everybody face to face in January 2023. I pass the stick to my friend Karsten.
Yeah, hello, that's me. My name is Karsten Barth. Yeah, like Mike said, we did the STEP course in 2020. Before that, I'm from my profession, I'm an engineer, and I worked in the automotive supplier industry for many years. And along with the course, I decided, or maybe even before that, I decided to change something in my life, and I wanted to do something different. Yeah, that's why I was lucky to find this course, and it was really worth to do in 2020, even with the hard COVID restrictions and so on. And yeah, that was great. I always wanted to build a house by myself. So we have a house in Germany. I'm from Germany. I'm German. We live near Hattingen, in Hattingen. It's near Bochum, in Ruhrgebiet. And but not just there. So partly most of the year now we live in Portugal. And that's why I'm as well here with you to assist you in the course next year. And it will be wonderful. I really sure. And yeah, and I want to, as I said, I always wanted to build a house for myself. That was my motivation in the beginning to do this course. But sometimes it changes things, and I find it's I want to do more with this. So not just building for myself, maybe just or as well teaching and so on with you. And yeah, that's why I'm really happy to see you hopefully in January next year here in my second home country. Yeah, that's for me. I'm 54 now. I'm here with my wife living in Portugal, and we have two sons living somewhere. So in Germany mostly. Yeah, that's me. So, and I pass the stick to the third person. Michael is as well trainer for the course.
Yes, thank you. I hope my connection is better than before and you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, because sometimes it breaks down. So yes, I've learned something in my life. The first what I learned with the professional paper was bookkeeping and tax and consulting. And then I turned to fairy tailing and chakra working. And then I said that maybe that's not all in my life, and I turned to buildings. And since 1996, I have a building company in France, and I do all the building what you can do, from foundation to roof, from inner work to outer work. So most people think I'm only a renderer, but it's more than you can see that later on. So my profession, bookkeeping, was good to be part of the ESPA, ESPN and Bivena board to do the bookkeeping there, because it's easy for me. When everybody's asked, can you do the bookkeeping? And I said, yes, it's time to do it in the night. I must not sleep so much. But for you, I think it's more important to look for companies who build and what they do, and I will train you in this kind. And I will give you some professional and not professional tasks about working on houses, Stowbell houses mostly, and also ecological houses. And you will see some mistakes we can do together, and some you will do alone. And I try to train you. And I think it's the most important stuff we can do. And that's all for me. The rest you will see next when we are met in Portugal or somewhere else. And I give the stick back to Herbert.
Thank you, Michael. So please introduce yourself. Tell us from where you come, which language you speak. It's just English or German that we know. And if you're a student or if you earn money during the course, if it's quite fixed for you that you will join, and maybe you just asked questions now, which I will answer afterwards. So if there are some questions we will not immediately answer, we collect the questions you have for Portugal, and afterwards I will, in a general round, answer these questions. So I start with Alina, as this is the first in the alphabet.
Okay, hi, I'm Alina, 36 years old. I speak mainly German, or I'm from Germany. I live currently in Innsbruck, and I am an architect. I was working for 7 years as an architect now, doing my like also doing wood housing and ecological housing. Well, that's what I did also like as my bachelor. And now I want to get away a little bit from the normal architecture industry and kind of try to change into like more social, like get the social parts together with the architecture. So maybe doing like workshops with kids, or I don't know, I'm still figuring it out, like what really to do with it. But I'm pretty fixed that I want to do the straw bale house, because I also did 3 weeks already in 2020 with Herbert in Ravelsbach, and we went to different construction sites, and I really, got to know how it is. So and I'm like also starting the practical part now. Already doing everything or most of the practical parts this year, 2022. Then doing the theory, so a little bit like reverse in January and February in Portugal. And then like maybe also some stuff like in spring next year to finish everything like that I need to know for the step course. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alina. And next is Caroline, Habits and Rabbits.
Hey, I'm Caroline, I'm 39, and I live in Germany, Freiburg, with my son. Actually, I'm a student. I try to find out in which field I want to earn money. I'm an artist in the field of sculpturing and contemporary art, and it's not the best field for earning money. So I'm now studying informatics, but it doesn't fit so much to me. The last year I had really intense year with the material straw and clay. I came to that from an artistic interest, and I stayed there and had a really strong feeling I want to go deeper into that, and connected with Wangelin and had intense time with Dorothee Wagmüller, and also in Brandenburg with Arcana Otto Rocker, and worked with them together a few weeks. And this was really a good time for me to deal with real problems on real building sites. And that's also for me the reason why I decided to stay with the Impulse following STEP program, because there are real problems, and it's not this, to have these training centers where I have a wall and there I put the straw and all the problems which come around, I don't have to deal with. And learning for me works much better if I have all the problems around that. What do you need more to know?
Is it fixed for you that you want to participate in Portugal, or do you still think about, or?
Okay. I want to participate, but yesterday I had the time really to look through the material, and I checked that the building sites are not anymore part of Algarve. And this question I have now with me, which building sites are at the moment vacant, where are spaces to jump in? Yeah. Then I have to check. I want to start it, but I'm a practical person and I need this building site.
Okay, this is the question we will answer afterwards. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. So next one is Bert in the alphabet. Akos, sorry.
So should I start or do you start, Bert?
Akos, yeah, please start. You come in front of Bert and then I know.
Okay, I'm a 26-year-old. I'm Akos Straubinger. I've just finished my studies 1 year ago in civil engineering at the Engineering University of Budapest. From them, I work at a conventional building company. Now we're building a school, but I want to quit because I want to build more ecologically. In the university, I liked structured wooden houses, and after that, I saw that you can change the insulation to straw, and wow, that was a moment for me when I started to look after how this works, and I attended some workshops here in Hungary at Tenged. There are some organizations where you can learn about clay and straw and natural building stuffs. And after that, I found you, this ASBN organization, and I saw that you will have this workshop in Portugal, and I want to go there to learn from you.
Where do you live now, Akos?
I live near to Budapest at a little village called Üröm. And first I saw that you will have a construction here in Hungary in August, but unfortunately it was cancelled.
Postponed, more than cancelled.
And I have 2 questions about this learning in Portugal. First one is, so there is now, as I heard, there will be no practical days. So I have to go somewhere else to do that 20 days. Yes?
No, it's not right. But I will explain that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you said 2 questions. The second was?
Yeah, the second one is for me that if I start to pay that 10 months price, for example, in January, then can I attend in the next summer to the other constructions?
Yeah, sure.
Nice, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Akos. Next is Bert.
Yes, I'm Bert. I'm 57 and I live in Holland. I started my career as a land surveyor. I spent 10 years in the Caribbean doing land surveying. And I built myself a house there, a conventional house. After that, I came back to Holland and I built another house here. After that, I started to work for a company who is specialized in water drainage, getting water off big buildings, flat roofs, and I did their calculation. And after that, I started to renovate the house where I live in now. Yeah, I'm interested in eco building. So I did a building biology course in Germany, an online course. I did also an online course of hempcrete building. And I did already some workshops in Austria and online with Herbert. So I'm a little bit familiar with straw building. Right now, this year, we bought a house in France, a ruin actually. The 4 walls are fine, but the roof is eaten by the worms. So I have to change that. And yeah, I like to do some experience with this course. See how we can renovate this house. Maybe put a straw roof on it and insulating with straw. So I hope to learn a lot with the course. maybe it's a good site for a course, a practical course. But it's in France. It's not good in the winter, of course. It's not in the south. It's in Bourgogne, in the center of the country, a little bit east. So yeah, I'm looking forward to do the course in Portugal. Yeah.
Thank you, Bert and Rainer.
Yeah, hello. My name is Rainer. I speak German and also a little bit of English. I'm from Germany, near Frankfurt, between Frankfurt and Mannheim or Heidelberg, the region called Odenwald. And I'm 57, such as Bert. I'm a teacher of printing and media, and I quit my job. I will quit my job at September, and I want to do something else in my life. I do a sabbatical 1 year, and I would want to do something totally different. I do some walking, France, Spain, Portugal. I want to be next year to do my yoga teacher, and in January and February I want to learn how to build a straw henge house, because yeah, I want to build a house for me and my family. I have a wife and 3 children. My oldest daughter is 24. The other 2 are 14 and 16 years old. My son, and yeah, and I'm looking forward to Portugal.
Thank you all. So I will share the screen with you to show you a little bit about the program. And so at the moment we have Caroline, who is here. Then Nicolas has not time today, so Rainer is here. Dominic, he wants also to join. Bert is here. Verena is not here. She has a project in Portugal with COP and is interested also to host a workshop there. So maybe this is one of the building sites which we could include. Sophia, I don't have any more. I think this is the Sophia from Portugal, Mike, but Mike is not here at the moment. So we will ask Mike. Then Felix is...
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, so...
but is Karsten not in touch with Sophia?
Karsten is in touch with Sophia, is he?
Yeah,
I don't know now if this is the Sophia which or who wants to build this house, or if it's another Sophia. I don't know.
It would be good.
Then we have Felix Ehrenbrandner. He is from Austria and makes a Bildungskarenz, which is similar like the sabbatical, but it's a change of your profession mainly, and you're funded from the was heißt Arbeitsmarktverwaltung auf Englisch, the job change institution.
It's gonna be like a job center.
No? Job center, yeah, something. Yeah. Then Akos is here and Alina is here. And Hannah told me that she would, as similar as your questions, as of in the last email, you saw that the plan for Portugal is just theory. So we look at that. Where is my... So this was the plan for Portugal, and you see that these are the 8 modules here now, yeah? But nothing changed except that we don't have the... So we make a sort of condensed theory course with a lot of practice, because this is the nice thing. in south of Algarve, where we will be in Quinta de Fornalha. So this is in Castro Marim on the Spanish border near the coast. The weather in winter is usually very fine. So it's raining usually in November, maybe a little bit December, and then afterwards in April. This is quite different in other parts of Portugal. In north of Portugal, you can have a lot of rain during winter, and it's also not possible to make courses outside. So this is a quite attractive and nice place for winter course, as many of the builders don't have much to do in Austria or Germany or in other Central European countries because of the weather situation. There it's possible, and this is one of the reasons why we also have chosen this place. Now, the 8 units are combined naturally, so the STEP certified course is a combination of practice and theory, but there are 2 different certificates, one for practice, one for theory. You can do everything modular, but when you do this course, and for example in Portugal, then the practical building sites are included. They are just not all in Portugal. Maybe there are some in Portugal. When we publish that, maybe there are some permission plans until end of this year where we can make a workshop next year on this building site. But we are quite strict with workshops. In a workshop, we expect a really nice architecture, a good house, a really consequent ecological building, and the opportunity to stay there, to have a good or a nice accommodation and nice, good food. One of the most important things in usually the trainings. So this is what we can guarantee on a lot of building sites. We usually have up to 10, 12 workshops during the year. Some are in Austria, some are in Sweden, some are in Greece, some are maybe also in Portugal. So we cannot say exactly about next year. What we can tell is about this year. This year we have a lot of workshops in Austria. There was a lot of requests, and these were also people who partly participated in workshops or made the STEP course and asked us that we support them in their store bale building with a course. So for example, we have this year a lot of, we already had wrapping, a load bearing building in Gerersdorf in Burgenland. Then we had lime and clay plasters with Michael in Ispertal, and also in Gerersdorf in this roundhouse, load-bearing roundhouse we built there. We will start in July to build straw bale house with a straw bale roof and straw bale base plate on screw foundation in July, and there are also workshops for that where we have, for example, here the infill and then clay plaster and lime plasters. So this program next year will be similar, and in general, when you book the certified course, you have access to all the courses and you can do the courses as often as you want. There is no limit for that. Yeah. You can do it over, some people do it over the next 3 years. Some people want it more condensed and do it in 8 months. Some make a really intensive training and want to do everything in 2 months. So this is the offer of these courses in Portugal. You have the theory compact. We are together, most probably like a, I would say, not like a family. Usually it turns out to be more a family than a corporation or something like that, or a community. This is what I wanted to say. And we have a lot of possibilities there. It's a big area, quite big. There are a lot of also old buildings which we could renovate or start to renovate or show how to renovate them. There are a lot of single buildings and apartments, new ones. So the apartments where we will stay, these are newer, or at least they are good restorated already. So there's not much to do, but there are also smaller buildings around, and there might be more. But to provide good practical courses, you come for 5 days or 10 days, combine infill with a clay plaster or lime render, or a wrapping project or a load bearing project somewhere where there is a client who offers that you get the accommodation and food. This is the deal we have with the clients. So for the fee, to usually when you want to participate, then you pay 350 euro for a course, for a practical course. This is included in the certified. So if you do the certified course, the theory, then you choose which courses you are interested in. We usually say it's a minimum of 20 days to practice in addition to the theory. For the theory, you will have at the end a final assessment. There are about 100 questions. This takes about 1.5 hours. This is necessary that we can grade you, and then you are excellent, good, or beginning to understand, something like that. And the practice is mainly similar as when you do carpentry or any other building profession. You have the theory, you study the topics, and then you need the theory over the next 2 years or whatever, and then you will become the master, like that. So you can do the practical courses in the next holidays or during the next year or starting with this year. This is up to you. And we try to set up workshops, practical workshops and building sites where you learn really good details, where it's not just a hut somewhere in the woods where some self-builder wants to build cheap, but where you learn the essentials of good detailing and wind and airproof buildings, keep the moisture out, and solve other problems which might be a problem according to the climate where you want to build a house. So this is just that is that we cannot guarantee a week in between that we have for this 5. There are 5 units usually, or at least 4 units where there is a practice. So this is usually step intro is a mix of the first one is a mix of theory and practice. So you will learn to handle straw bales, to analyze the straw bales in the quality. This is about everything which has to do with the material. Step 2 is anything which has to do with post and beam constructions. It includes naturally the walls, but also the windows and how to connect to the window frames to the construction to make the infill, and base plates as well, especially the elevated base plates when there is a pillar foundation or a stripe foundation underneath, and naturally the roof. We make all the straw bale houses we built with straw bale roofs. If you have this material already, why should you change it to another material? Load bearing is this combination of a load bearing wall, which means the straw bales itself are load bearing and don't need another construction. You compress it, and then you can add roof loads, snow loads, or in some cases a second story if you build, for example, with big bales. So there's big bale building with 80 and 90 centimeter thick walls, and the usual 50 centimeter standard bale load bearing Nebraska style, where you can build smaller buildings, but you can also build a lot of organic buildings like walls, domes. Might have seen some buildings from Werner Schmidt with big bales in Switzerland. You might have seen these walls in Wangelin or in Tamera. These are load-bearing buildings built by Gernot Minke and friends. There are always others who were second or doing these workshops with him. And there is a combination of that in Hubisur in Slovakia. This is 5 volts and the dome on top. This is now the Createra office. So there are a lot of possibilities you have with load bearing in addition to post and beam construction to the infill and prefab. In the infill, is also the prefab. So we will analyze what all the prefab companies offer when they sell you straw bale modules. What is the difference? How are they built? And we will also build such a module in the training so that you see how it's done and what is maybe the benefit if you build on site or if you prefabricate it in a carpentry, in a whatever production. Wrapping is anything which has to do with thermal renovation. So thermal, it's Wärmedämmverbundsysteme. So you all know most probably styrofoam on a brick wall or on a concrete wall. And instead of styrofoam, we use straw and other natural materials. It's not just about straw bales and straw flakes. So the parts of a straw, you can make wrappings with 15 centimeters as well. It's also about what other natural materials you can use, and we calculate always the price so that you know how much work is one technique compared to the other. We will build all these different methods in Portugal, site on site. We will show it at once, and then we will have one, or you will have one building site where there is one of these possibilities usually. So the benefit of the training with combined with the practice, theory and practice, is that you get the overview about all the techniques. And in a practical workshop, you go to a building site, but there's usually only one technique. We cannot build, or we will not find a client who builds a part load bearing and the part with big base and small base and the part with infill and the straw bale roof and the base plate. Everything is elevated so that you can do all these techniques. So the big overview and the smaller walls you will do in the training center, and the big context, how it looks like in a house, is what you see in the practical building sites. But whenever there is a nice weather, be sure we will be outside in Portugal, and not just on the beach, also in the training center, and play around with these techniques, with these modules, with these examples of walls. And there are some old buildings and there are some new buildings, and there's just space where we can try out these different possibilities, and you can try out which one is the one you choose maybe for integrating it in a project you have, or in a house renovation, or in a new building you want to do. So these are the main three practical building sites. Besides that, naturally, we have also the finishes. There's clay plaster, there's mainly lime plaster or lime render, and there are claddings made of wood. This is the part of the finishes, and this is the fourth practical part, which is usually always combined with a house of infill or a wrapping. In each wrapping, usually we make a lime render or a cladding, a wooden cladding, ventilated cladding facade. In load bearing, we directly plaster, usually clay inside and lime plaster outside. And in infill, it's always clay plaster inside, and on the outside, usually lime plaster or cladding again. So these are the possibilities, and wherever you want to know more, you can deepen your skills by participating twice in a practical, or 3 times. It doesn't matter. It's offer from the clients, and as soon as you tell us, I will come to this workshop, it's okay, and you are invited there. The only thing in some projects you have to pay about €5 per meal. We try to keep these costs for food as low as possible, but we know that food is also a quite nice motivation and good food. So we have, it's sort of a game. We all bring in our national food and cooking skills, and built in teams which cook in the evening, for example. But we don't want to do this all the time. So what we saw, especially in Quinta de Vanalia, that they have a really good lunch there, and it's your choice if you want it. It's biological and local food, because they have the garden in front of the door, and they are magicians in cooking. So it's really a nice thing to do that. But it's not every day, and we can define how much we want to consume these and how much we want to cook by ourselves. So mainly the costs, I think, when you cook by yourself at home, you have the same costs per meal, around €5. When you buy something, is the minimum, and this costs you will have in each theory training, where no client pays you for working. On practical sides, it's partly that the clients pay the full food and accommodation part, and only if you want to sleep in a single room, then you might pay something extra, because it's usually double beds or something like that, or rented houses where we sleep. But you have always the chance to take your own tent or a camper and like that, and we will try to arrange that. Number 6, 7, and 8 don't have practice, so the practice is part of the course. Naturally, building physics is also a practice, and be sure those who ever attended a course, whether it was online or here in the training center, will know that we do the theory quite interactive, and you mainly answer the question. There are not presentations where I talk like now 1 hour, but it's very interactive. So I show you a slide, and then you just interpret it, and then we just add what it is about and why it's a topic and those things. So this is about building physics, one of the main modules. How to prevent a mistake is in the, it's not in the structural thing, because I don't think that any straw bale house which was built at least with participation of a carpenter ever collapsed. This usually doesn't happen, but you can have problems with moisture, mold. These are the big challenges to cope with, air tightness and those things. And naturally you have you want to provide a very good healthy indoor climate, and yeah, and this is what we learn mainly in building physics. In step unit 7 we focus, and we usually start with this unit where we focus on designing your dream house, whatever it is. And you will design and learn how to make not just the design for the house, it's mainly you learn how to make the construction plan, because this is what you need in the future. When you go to carpenter, then you have to tell him, this is what I want. This is a construction where the straw bale fits in, and can you build that? If you ask him if he can build a wood house, then you cannot fill in straw bales usually. And number 8 is, I think it's let's say it was meant initially for startup companies, yeah, who after this step course decide, I want now to become a straw bale builder, or I want to be a trainer, or I want to work with or in a company. So you need special skills. This is communication. You need to calculate, you need to estimate, and you need to have a clue about marketing a little bit and how to sell yourself or how to publish things on social media channels and those things. And what we learn is mainly with free programs, you can be magicians in convincing others to follow you or to be motivated by you, like that. These are the 8 courses, and beside that is you learn how to build a straw bale house. Yes, you work with natural materials and not just straw. So we talk about all the natural materials as well. We have planning and construction included. We have the construction details included so that you know how the connections really work and why we do that. We explain why, and we show you also the varieties and talk about others which might be not as good, and we tell you why we think that this is not as good as the details we recommend to you. Building physics, we have it as a module. Avoiding mistakes is result of good building physics. Usually clay and lime plasters, naturally healthy indoor climate is a very big focus on that, and renovation. These are the topics beside that. You see here a lot of from practical workshops made not on building sites. So this is what you will or can expect. We built a small load-bearing house, we built a small infill wall and those things, but it's not a complete house. We have to tear this down afterwards and keep the construction for the next year. You will learn to cut and handle straw bales and make electricity in straw bales and to compress straw and make electricity and heating system, maybe make a construction, learn a little bit about clay and possibilities to work with clay from the ground or with ready-made prefabricated clay, big bags, powders and those things, also with lime, the different sorts of lime putty and the hybrid lime. And for wrapping, you will learn about all these constructions where you can make thinner layers as a thermal insulation around an existing building or also around a new building possible. So you see the trainers all here. I think the photos are quite new, so yeah, and this is how a certification looks like. You have the final certification. This is the paper which you can hang on the wall or whatever, but it is just a proof of 2 certificates. So one is the practice and one is the theory. You can do just the theory and you can do just the practice. If you combine that, then you are a certified builder and get this certificate. And besides that, so we don't publish on this certificate your grading, if you're excellent or not. We just publish that you are certified in this case. And there's also the stamp from ESPA, because ESPA, the European Straw Bale Building Association, coordinates now the STEP program. Yeah, and it's EDGERET program, so it's EDGERET certified and like that. It doesn't mean a certification in straw bale building doesn't mean that you're a carpenter. Yeah, don't mix that up. This is a different profession. You have to work with a carpenter, but most probably you learn the skills that you can build straw bale houses with a carpenter. And have these skills to make also the wooden construction for these houses. But a carpenter has to do much more, and the carpenter should be able to build 5-story buildings and whatever in wood. So this is a long-term education with a lot of structural engineering, depending on in which country you study that. But this is not what we offer. You are not a carpenter. Yeah. And you always need some other professionals like an installation company. We show you how to do that, but you need an installation company, and you need an electrician at least to make the fuse box, also the Sicherungskasten. But you can do all the other stuff around, can do by your own. This is what you will learn. So, Karsten and Michael, about a little bit about where we are. It's here on the Spanish border, quite in the south. So we try to combine naturally a little bit these holidays in Austria. You will save a lot of heating costs in Austria or wherever you are when you go there, because you just need a little bit maybe heating in the night, but not much during the day. It's quite warm, usually between 14 can be more degrees. In the night it can be, Karsten, say something, 8 degrees maybe. Depending on where you are.
Night it could be really low temperature, but as soon as the sun comes out and you go out, you feel, oh wow, no, I have to go out. That's why I'm there.
So Quinta de Fanalia is a 3-star accommodation with apartments. Each of these apartments has in general a double bedroom. Some have extra room where there's usually for 1 bed. So we counted now that 3 people are in one of these flats. There is a living room in front of that, and a kitchen and a bathroom and toilet. This is one of apartments. There are smaller apartments where there's just for 2 people. And this is usually one of these apartments is about 45 euro. So if there are 3 people in such an apartment, then it's 15 euro per person. This was the reason why if you want such an apartment for your own, there are about 10 apartments in this Quinta Fanalia, then you can have it, but then it's 45 euro, depending if you have 1 room with double bed, then it's 30 euro, like that, yeah. So per bed, it's usually 15 euro. And when you look around in this area, you will not find another accommodation for that price. So, and it's quite high class, the accommodations. I said in front you have this terrace, you have kitchen, you have heating, it's a radiator inside, which is usually enough, bathroom. And outside you have this organic food and permaculture gardens where we are allowed to pick up vegetables or those things we want for free as well. Castro Marine, this is also on the beach. So from our apartments, we have about 5 meters to the terrace, 100 meters to the train station, which is quite nice. You have a connection also to Faro or to Lisbon airport by train. Then it's about 3.1 kilometers to the beach. Rosa promised that we can also have bicycles and go by bicycles to the beach, maybe on the evenings or on weekends or something like that. There's about 60 kilometers to the airport Faro. This would be the best airport if you go by plane. If you go by train, then it's a long run, but it's worth it. And it's about 88 kilometers to the main touristic attractions in Algarve, so Albufeira, for example, and others. But the south coast is quite nice everywhere, I think. And when you go by train to Lisbon, it's about 4 hours and 32 minutes. This is one train I found, but it can be also a longer time depending on when you go there. This is the from Google. This is the whole area here. So here you have the Kasr Maim train station, and you go this about 100 meters here up, and here you have all the gardens and the permaculture gardens and a lot of apartments here and here and here and here, and here is the main reception and restaurant and kitchen, and so there's a pool, there's a lot of other smaller houses. They always have interns there as well who stay there and work in the gardens as well. Yeah, this is about, and this is how the reception looks like. Some pictures of that. This is also there's also a shop for biological specialities. It's really nice things which you have there. This is one of the apartments where you have this terrace in front. This is on the other side, the terrace where we all sit together. And this is one of the places where we can have also the theory outside, but mostly I think we'll be on the terrace for when we just make discussions and learn about or do these presentations together, and then we can go to a certain place where we do or have prepared wrapping or infill or something, some other stuff like plastering. And for the costs, it's like any certificate, like any training with certificate. So the certified training is 2,900 or 2,500 for students. This is the whole price, payable in 10 rates. You can, so it's 300 euro per month or 250 for students and unemployed people. Accommodation is similar as usual as if we do it in Austria. If you do it on my place, you would also, except you sleep in a more bedroom, maybe in my house, but otherwise in Austria, when we do theory, you would also pay 15 euro something per night for the accommodation. And if you want a single bedroom, then it's 30 euro, and the food can be 15 euro per day, or it can, if you want to enjoy this, 15 euro for the lunch. And then we cook on the evening by ourselves, and the breakfast is by yourself, and you just buy what you want for breakfast. There's such a difference in breakfast. Some like me I'm happy when I have my coffee, my big pot of coffee, and some others want a lot of different fruits. And so this is up to you, and you can do this in your kitchen. And then we meet at 9 o'clock, something together like that. So this is about the program. And the combination with the practical units, it can be in Portugal, but don't rely that it's there. We have the practical workshops where it's nice, where we have a good accommodation, where we have good food, where everything is paid. This is what we want, and where you learn most. So a good building, a good details, and not a low budget house, which is just a temporary building. This is not what we want as an example where you really learn from a building. And this is why we focus on, we have some of the houses can be next year also in Greece. There's one in Istria, Croatia. Many houses can be in Austria as well, or will be in Austria or Germany. So we will see. And it's published usually in end of December, something like that. That this will be load bearing, this will be wrapping, and this will be infill. But we repeat that, and it's a steady change. Sometimes we change the places because we have defined the week where we do load bearing course, and then there's another load bearing, and this one is postponed, so we do it somewhere else. Can happen, but so that you have the time schedule this is what we usually do in the first month of January. So this year we will do it in December. And when you are participating in Portugal, you already know when the next year's practical building sites will be. Besides that, you could participate also this year or the next year or the next year, whenever you want, to do the practical courses in addition to this. So this was now bit long, but I tried to also answer some of the questions and about pricing. So everything is a little bit variable, naturally, but everything also has its price. Yeah, and we need a lot of materials there to show you. So this is why this price is like it is. I think it's worth it when you ask the former steppers, not the paid ones, but the independent ones. You will see that there's a lot of positive reaction there. I think, yeah, it's a really quality course. We try to give our best to learn the most out of it and are able at least to judge if any offers you get are good offers or not. You will learn the construction. You can participate in any kind of, and naturally you can offer your skills as strawberry builders, clay plasterers, or lime renderers, or those. By the way, you are not ready with after a 6 months course. I still learn. This is lifelong learning, so we all get better with the time, and when we are good enough, then we die usually. So any more questions from you?
Yes. When I decide to do the step course, when I have to do the payment?
This is depending on when you start. So when you want to start now with some practical courses, then we would start with the 10 rates in July or in August or something like that. Yeah. Then as soon as you pay the first rate, and you usually pay this monthly, you can participate in the courses. But you can also start on, so before, let's say you do it in December, the first rate, or in January, then you can participate next year in the courses. It's also possible. And if you have problems with paying the rates, then just tell us, and we are human beings and we can talk about everything. If it's not possible to pay it in such a short time, maybe it's possible to find an agreement. Yeah.
Yeah. And second question, are there any spots at the workshops now in, I think it's September, or are they full?
No, I think in every workshop which we have, and I can share once more the screen. Oops. And I have it here. So even in July, when we have the clay plaster here, there are 2 places here available. You have this site on stronatur.at workshops. You have it in English and in German. And here you have the clay plaster workshop, and then infill. This is a Tadelakt workshop. So all this you have, there are places. Doesn't mean that it's still available in 2 weeks. So you should book fast. But now, in all these workshops you have possibility to participate. Yeah.
Okay. For me, it's more interesting the workshops from September on, because in the summer I have to work, and I'm, for example, until 11th of September, I'm in Brandenburg, totally north, and the workshop starts at 12. I think this is Lehmputz.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Also to jump in one day later, because it's really a long way. I don't get it to be in time there on the 12th.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yes, it's possible. We usually like that people come on the first day because we explain, but in earth plasters, we mainly you miss the explanation of the machine, because we have a spray plaster there and how to mix maybe, but this is you learn with explanations during the whole time, because it's a lot of technique, how you plaster, how you render, and this is not so important as, for example, in an infill. In an infill, on the first day, we explain the construction and we go through that you understand each detail. So I would recommend that you are there on the first day in an infill or wrapping workshop. Am I wrong, Michael?
No, you are not wrong. I have the same problem. I have to come and on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming from Verden, from the north of Germany.
Mm-hmm. So this is absolutely possible, yeah?
Okay. Cool.
So look for a train and it's easy.
So, any more questions?
Did you say there was also a workshop in July with a straw bale roof?
Yes, we have this house here. This is in August. It's not in July. This one is only clay plaster. It has, I don't know if it has a straw bale roof. It's in Germany, built by Victor Gach and Jakub Jirku, also two steppers. Most probably it has no straw bale roof, this one. For sure, this is our plan here. So this house in August, we have a workshop August 22 to 26. This is with straw bale roof and straw bale base plate on screw foundations, for example.
Okay, so you will build a straw bale roof during that workshop.
This is the straw bale roof is built before, but you can see the details and how it's made. Yeah.
Okay.
What we have, the base plate, if you want to fill in the base plate, this is intro workshop on, I have to look for the plan. Here on this weekend in July, these 2 days, we fill in the base plate. This is the same as the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to attend that, and maybe afterwards do the infill in Czech Republic, near Hradec Králové, then you can participate in this course here, in this 3-day course, or just come to this 3-day course. This is where we infill the base plate, and it's like the roof, but 2.5 meters or 2,70 meters lower.
Ich habe jetzt noch mal eine Frage. Der Kalender sieht jetzt anders aus als den du mir geschickt hattest. Like this is a different calendar than I had.
Yeah.
Because,
this is our internal calendar where it's mentioned who works where and when, and you have the calendar without that.
Okay, but it's okay if I come on the 8th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are here in this, and besides that, we make the construction. These red parts here are our constructions, which we do. This is not a workshop, yeah. The workshops are here. So this is in this line. Sorry, in this line on the 8th, 10th, 9th, and 10th. And then we have the week in Meisowitz, and then we have in Avesbach the step 5, and then we have again the lime and clay. It's only clay plaster in Meisowitz again.
Herbert, what is the agreed start date now for the course in Portugal? Is it Tuesday the 10th January?
The time schedule was yeah, so it's the 10th, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So this allows us after 1st of January that we prepare everything here for the step course after New Year. Which doesn't mean that you make 1 week or 2 weeks holiday before. You can also book apartments there before, most probably, and or you just enjoy the time in this time. So it starts with the 10th of January and it will stop with the test on 8th and 9th. And this is just that you have a little bit time. We'll go through the topics which are tested in the assessment, and so that you are able to pass the test. Yeah.
Okay.
Akos, yeah?
Yes, I'm eager to go, but I only have question about the accommodation. I wrote that to you that I have a camper van, and could you ask me somewhere there a park where it's possible to live during these 2 months near to this training center?
Yeah, well, I'm going in my camper,
Mm-hmm.
and Rosa has a parking place beside her main building, and I'm going to ask her if it's okay to stay there, because I also want electric hookup.
Okay.
So we'll park beside each other, hopefully.
That would be nice.
And that is just next door to where everybody else is, where all the other accommodation is.
Yes.
It could be the three of us.
I'll speak to Rosa, and then I'll get back to you.
So
How big is your camper, Akko?
Sorry?
How big is your camper?
Normal one. It's for 4 person.
Okay.
It's a commercial one. 30 years old Fiat Ducato.
6 meter.
Yes, 6 meter.
Okay, same as mine.
Great.
Bert, you also have a camper?
Yeah, I have also a camper. I could come also with my camper. Yeah,
okay.
It's just as big as the rest, also 6 meters.
Oh, right. I'll need to put this to Rosa, because then she's losing out on her accommodation rental. I thought I was on my own.
I count that it's similar in the pricing, yeah, because you will need electricity. You will need to have a bathroom and all that.
Yeah, but I don't know that Rosa's going to be happy to have her car park turned into a campsite, you know. So I'll speak to her.
I mean, there will not be much other guests in this time, so
no, sure,
maybe only daily guests, but we just ask and then you know about, yeah. But count at the moment that you have to pay something. This is we get this whole accommodation very cheap in winter. When you look at Quinta de Fanalia and the normal prices in summer, this is quite high. Yeah.
Okay.
Much more.
I'll speak to Rosa.
Perfect. And you have the addresses and can make a round mail to the others. Yeah.
Okay.
More questions? So then I stop here with and we just make a final round, and it's, if you are convinced now or if you need more time, just tell us what is your state of art after this information. And we start at the end now. So with Rainer.
Okay, I will start at Portugal. Maybe I come to at August 22 to 26, but I don't know if it works now. I have to ask my my wife and my children. Maybe we do some holiday there. I don't know, but Portugal is fixed for me.
Super, thank you.
And I don't have any more questions. Everything is told, and yeah.
Great. So next one from backside is Bert.
I think it's fixed. One question: is there a good access of internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it probably also possible that we come with the two of us?
This is a question which we can ask, but yeah, why not?
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But my wife, she has to work, and if there's space where she can work and she has access to internet, she can work everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
So if you have then you share the double bed with your wife and don't have to share it with some stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Sure. And you get an apartment by your own.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're coming in the camper, Bert?
Yeah, I mean, I have to discuss that.
Okay.
If we come with camper or by plane, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I have to discuss that. Yeah.
Okay. So next one is Caroline.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm clear with that, but I think I need the time until the weekend to check it with my son. He will come back on Friday evening. From our side, we would come both. He's 15, and if this is fine for the hosts, yeah, I would like to come. And for now, I checked the September workshop and would let you know. I think until next week latest, I can say more to that.
Mm-hmm. So you want to come with your son, and he is interested in participating?
Yeah, I think he is not interested in participating the whole time. But he is interested in participating. He also participated the building sites in Brandenburg, Uckermark, and Wangelin.
Absolute, great. Yes.
How old is your son, Caroline?
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Caroline. And the next one is Alina.
Yeah, well, I will participate now, like with the practical workshops, and yeah, well, I'm planning on doing the Portugal part, and yeah, I'm like.
I already know. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, but for you, it's clear that you come to Portugal and stay there at the moment. Yeah, at least. Mm-hmm.
At the moment, of course. Yes.
And Akos?
Yes, I muted myself. So now I would say I really want to go, but I have to make some calculations about the prices, because unfortunately now I just worked for 1 year. So I don't have so much money. Mm-hmm. I have to lower the accommodation cost. That's why I go with the camper. And yeah, I try to go.
Okay.
I love this presentation. It was great. I got the answers what I wanted to get, and I really want to go.
Thank you all, and I give the last word to our co-trainers, Mike, Karsten, and Michael.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this course and to getting to to the Algarve during the winter. and to seeing everybody and to passing on my my knowledge. The people who are not on this Zoom meeting at the moment, who couldn't make it, if they get an opportunity to see the recording and they come with any interesting feedback or questions, will you pass it on to everybody?
Yes.
Could be some things irrelevant that we missed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you everybody for coming, and we look forward to seeing you in January.
Karsten?
Yeah, I'm as well totally convinced to participate. Yeah, so yeah, it's great. So I'm really looking forward to see you all these lovely people, and I'm sure it will be a great course. And yeah, we see you there. Pass stick to Michael.
Yes, thank you. I'm very curious to meet you in the south, but I'm not all the time there. Before in January and half February, I have an Eco-Village design education course, and I will join this, and then I will come and to show you what I have learned there.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your participation here in the Zoom course, and we keep in touch, and I will send you the recording, so if you want to hear this again, then you can watch it again. Thank
Herbert,
you.
can I ask you a personal question after
Absolutely.
this?
Yeah. About what?
Oh, about my project in France. But yeah, I won't bother other people with it, but it's not a secret.
Okay, no, so then we make it official. Thank you, and I wish you a good evening. You
Bye.
can leave now, or if you want to stay for the small consultants with Bert, you can also stay here. I will shut down.